Welcome to Insider's Viewpoint's Deployment Architecture. In this video, we will hear from experts discussing important aspects of software deployment.
I think often you need to think about scale, like the sort of just in general, is your system, how many users will your system has, how much data do you expect to flow through it, how much data do you expect to produce and store, how real-time do you need the data access to be, what is your logging story like, do you have privacy concerns, do you need to ensure that data is anonymized, so you kind of, I think, thinking about the scale, the regionality, is it global, is it local, what are your logging needs, both for internal and external data analysis, mapping out the data flows. So these are sort of the things I think we start with with design principles.
And in terms of choosing infrastructure, like whether you want to go serverless, whether you want to use a hosted backend, or you're hosting your own, these are all design and architectural decisions that will probably, for your first few jobs, already be taken for you.
What's your system of SLOs, your availability look like, service level objectives, right? So you need to just think about sort of those sorts of things. I think ensuring you like what does a healthy system mean to you? What does a well-running system mean to you? You need to define those metrics up front and sort of have those monitored and watch those as your system lives on, and make sure that you're meeting those objectives and goals and have a plan to mitigate them if they fall below where you like them to be. These days, I think microservices and keeping code as modularized as possible to avoid giant sort of bloated behemoth code bases is really important so that people can move fast and deploy fast.
But what I would say is a critical part of the deployment option is when you look at deployment and integrating your code, testing is fundamental. So I would strongly urge all of you to really pay attention to testing and to use test-driven development, TDD, test-driven development, as a development habit that you inculcate in your life as developers and engineers. It'll stand you in very good stead. I think that's the single most important part. You won't always do it, but you should try and do it as much as you can.
You need to think about whether you want to canarying. There's a canary in a coal mine analogy. So there's a process called canarying where you try to roll out new code and test whether it's going to blow things up or break things. And you want to think about you need to think about how quickly you need to release or not, how quickly you may need to roll back your code or not.